A lot of competition at Chelsea. John, let's come to your piece in the back page of the Mirror. Sterling is stuck. Raheem sweating on exit or a season on sidelines at Chelsea. That's a pretty bleak prospect. How likely for Raheem Sterling is that, John? Yeah, look, I do think it's really in the balance now. I think it's a big 48 hours ahead for Chelsea. There's no doubt about it. They've got a hell of a lot of players to move within that period of time. Yes, they'd like to bring in more players. Jadon Sancho, of course, potentially a striker yet. Maybe even sort of a late sort of move for Tony. But to do that, to facilitate that, they've got to move Sterling on and basically, players like that. And I'm not completely sort of comfortable, I must say. I don't think Sterling's been treated incredibly, potentially particularly well. I mean, he spent all sort of kind of season thinking he was going to be a big player for Maresca this season, was sort of kind of front and center of a new sort of kind of ad campaign going into the season. And the first kind of hint that he wouldn't be part of it was on the Friday when he had a sort of chat with Maresca ahead of the first game of the season. Since then, he's been ostracized. Look, he's on a big contract. You can't hide from that £325,000 a week. He's not the one that's been agitating to move. So he's made absolutely clear that he's committed to Chelsea and wanted to ideally to stay. So they've kind of got to find a solution here. And there's not many other teams in the Premier League, who really have kind of got that money to match. I think his preference, is to stay in English football, because he's very proud to play for England in the past and I think wants to regain that place. I don't think therefore he'd be particularly keen on Saudi at all. So there's a lot of work to be done. And I do think that Chelsea are causing problems for themselves here. If they end up with 2 or 3, still Ben Chilwell, of course, sort of other players, if there's a heavy dressing room with big players, big names, who as well as they might be behaving, and I'm no reason to doubt that. I still think, you're causing yourself problems if you've stored up players who are not going to play. That's not a recipe for a happy and sort of harmonious squad at all. Indeed, we wish Raheem Sterling all the best, and indeed Ben Chilwell and other players affected Chelsea in the next couple of days, all the transfer lines as they come. Another player who's had a troubled time, back page of the Sun, I think we saw it flash up there, Sancho scrap. Juventus in talks to secure Jadon on loan, but Maresca hints at a late Chelsea move. Mark, of course, it's your patch Manchester United. What's happening with Sancho? We thought he'd patched all things up with Erik ten Hag. Well, it's an uneasy truce with Erik ten Hag, and I think both sides did it from a pragmatic point of view that, Sancho wasn't going to get his move to Dortmund back to Dortmund. Ten Hag didn't really want this to continue for another season. I think the owners made it clear to both that it's in your best interest to bury the hatchet and let's see where it takes us. But I think there was always a possibility that Sancho moved on. I think United's preference would be to do a deal with Juventus because that would enable them to get him off the wage bill, whether it's by loan or by sale. I think the proposal of a Raheem Sterling swap deal with Chelsea doesn't really stack up for United, but it's one that they would consider if on Friday evening that Sancho's still there and they haven't got him out of the club. But the ideal scenario for United is to, at some point, get some money back because they've spent a lot of money on the fee, a lot of money on the wages, and he's clearly got no future in the plans of Erik ten Hag. So, they need to get him out of the club. He's got 2 years left on his contract. It's a big contract. So I think Juventus are the favourites, but United aren't going to get what they want for him. But equally, they'll probably get more from Juventus than they would do with Chelsea because if they swap him for Raheem Sterling, they're not cutting costs because they're going to have to take on Raheem Sterling's contract, which is longer than Jadon Sancho. So that one for me doesn't really stack up unless both clubs are desperate on Friday night. So, Juventus, good option for Sancho, good option for United. Juventus need a forward now because Cheese is going to Liverpool. So, it does make a lot of sense, that one. Okay, before we go to the break, I'll come to John in a second. But Mark, what's your sense of the next couple of days as far as the transfer window goes? Do you expect it to be busy for Manchester United and across the board? I think it'd be one of the more interesting windows. I mean, the last few transfer windows have been a bit of a damp squib, haven't they? But I think with Sterling's future uncertain, with Sancho's future, Ben Chilwell, like John said, I think there are some big names that need a move. One caveat is that the Saudi window doesn't close until October. So a lot of clubs can still find, a way to get them at the club to Saudi, and even the Turkish window opens to mid-September. So there are options, but I think Friday there'll be a lot of business. I think there's a lot of clubs that need to do some business.
So yeah, I think Friday's going to be quite exciting. John, what are you expecting to be busy? Loans. Yeah, loans, Teddy. I really feel that, the last couple of days will be defined by a few clubs having to offload players. And suddenly you'll see decent names, decent opportunities pop up. And I do think, even clubs that sort of almost hinting that they're done might just find a little bit more, to find a creative loan and sort of kind of try and press ahead with that. Yeah, I think that Tony Sterling wants to watch Sancho, of course, but I think there might be some creative loans. And I think that might be, a sort of kind of, it's been quite a fashion, this market in this window. And I think that will continue into the final couple of days.